The chapter is about biological processes. And this is one of the GCSE subject in science, the subject science and biological processes. The name itself is telling us it is related to biology. In science, we divide it into three subjects. If you go into year 10, you're gonna start to learn biology, chemistry, and physics. Today is about biology. Last week is about physics. Last week is electricity and electromagnetism. So this week is about biology processes. Now, as usual, I'm not your normal biology or science teacher to teach you science or biology. I'm teaching you a study method. And for this week, I'm using biology to teach you the study method. Just like the previous 2-3 weeks, we are using physics to teach you the study method. So there are these 9 steps. I'm sure by now you already remember and familiar with these 9 steps. And what do we need to do on these 1 to 9 steps, right? So let's start with jotting down our time, 8:47 a.m. now we started, and see what time do we end. So let's start with step number 1, create drawers. So I've created 5 drawers, right? It's similar to our last chapter, electricity. We have 5 drawers. Today we also have 5 drawers, and these 5 drawers, the name is the names are making food, leaves, minerals, using energy, no oxygen energy. Okay. So I created a very simple story to help you to remember this drawer, name of the drawers, right? This is similar to the previous story, the Elise with the Cristiano Ronaldo EV car, if you remember. But this time we are making another story to help us to remember this name of the drawer, right? So making salad with leaves and mustard, and drink energy drink until no oxygen. Okay, the story doesn't sound logical, but that is the point. We wanted to make it illogical so that it will create more emotions. Remember, I told you emotions plus information equivalent to long-term memory. So you are making salad. How do you look? What is the salad? What is the ingredient that you use in the salad? You use leaves, not vegetable, but leaves, and mustard. Usually salad you use mayonnaise, or you use oh yeah, you could use mustard also, right? Leaf and mustard, and at the same time, this is for your food. At the same time, you are drinking energy drink. You know, energy drink in the supermarket, you know, the Red Bull and those type of drinks, the energy drinks, and you drink it until there is no oxygen for whatever reason. Okay, there's no oxygen, so you cannot breathe. Okay, you are making salad with what? With the leaf and mustard, and then drink energy drink, Red Bull, and until no oxygen. So making salad is making food, right? First one, making food. Then second drawer, leaf, obviously is leaf. It sounds it's exactly the same. Then minerals is mustard. M for mineral, M for mustard. Using energy, drink energy drink. No oxygen energy, no oxygen. Okay, so that is step number 1. We have created 5 drawers, and also we have created the story on how you can remember these drawers, the name of the drawers, in sequence, right? So this is step number 1. Let's move on to step number 2, right? If you need to jot down some notes, you can jot it down. I'm sure Xuan has been jotting down notes because I saw her notes before, and it's very nicely down to compliment her, right? If you are the type that doesn't jot notes, it's fine. You can still watch this video again because I'm going to upload it into my YouTube channel, right? If you are a super genius, you do not need to jot down note, and you do not need to watch the video again, and you can remember it. Yes, that is also fine. But usually, to remember it, you do not remember it without making an effort. Right? You need to take some effort to remember it. Okay. So I'll let you to decide what kind of effort you need to help you to remember the drawers, right? Remembering the drawer is not helping me, it's to help you. Okay. What I'm doing right now is to teach you the steps on how to learn more effectively. Now, step number 2. Okay, someone join. All right. So I'll continue. Step number 2, making food. Right. Okay, so step number 2, making food. Okay, as usual, we'll continue the same drill. How do you read this step number 2? You just need to, let me put it over here. Yeah, I think this one is better. It's better for you to read. Okay, you still remember we read this step number 2 without reading the content inside this bracket, because we're going to use this later. This is the story describing the drawer. Okay, so read this, and I'm sure the first time you read it, you have no idea or very little idea about what does it talk, what does it mean, and that is fine. All the things that you need is to ensure that you know there is something about photosynthesis in this drawer number 1. There's something about chloroplast or starch test in this drawer number 1, and that's it. Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes to read from making food until wine making. Okay, wait, let me just pull out the, okay. Okay, let's start now, 2 minutes. Thirty more seconds. Okay, done. You need more time? Anyone need more time? If you need more time, let me know. If no, then I will continue the step 2. Okay, Xuan, you need more time or you are saying yes, you are fine? No need time. No need time, okay? No need time. I said, okay, fine. Now I'll continue. Step 2. Step 2, let's do a quick review on what you have been reading, right? So we have 5 drawers. 5 drawers. Before we go into that, do you still remember what is the story related to the drawers? Eric, do you still remember what's the story related to the drawer?
From this time's drawers or last time's drawers?
This chapter.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can you tell me in 5 seconds?
No.
What is the No? Okay, you don't remember. You don't remember the story, right? Okay, I think you need to start to write some notes if you are not able to remember the story. Okay, so the story is very
Oh,
simple.
this one I remember.
Okay, so tell me again, what is the story?
So it is making salad with leaves and mustard and drink energy drink until no oxygen.
Right, so making salad is drawer number 1, making food. Then leaf is drawer number 2. Mustard is drawer number 3, which is minerals. Drinking energy drink, which is drawer number 4, using energy. Until no oxygen, no oxygen energy. Right, that's drawer number 5. So this is to help us to remember the drawer's name in sequence. So now we remember the drawer name, and there's a little bit more information inside each drawer. If you realize, we are building our knowledge step by step. Number 1, we build the drawer first. So there are 5 drawers. Then we build the name of the drawers. And now we are building a little bit more details about each drawers. So the drawer number 1 is having photosynthesis, and is also talking about what is the process of photosynthesis. There is reactants, there is products. So reactants is the carbon dioxide plus H2O, which is water, and the product is glucose and oxygen. Okay, and chloroplast, making food, there is something related to chloroplast. And what is chloroplast? Chloroplast mainly in leaf, okay, and chlorophyll is the green pigment inside chloroplast. So you have chloroplast and you have chlorophyll inside chloroplast, and the color is green, and it's located mainly in the leaves. Okay, then there's a starch test, and this starch test is to test, what does it test? Okay, we will know it later, but there is something related to, you have to boil something, you have to use ethanol, you have to wash something, and you have to use the iodine solution. You know it later. If you don't know it now, it's fine, because that is normal. Leaf is the second drawer. So you have structural adaptation. All right. What are the structural adaptation that leaf has? These are the ones. Larger surface, thin chlorophyll content, veins, waxy layer, gas exchange mechanism. So what are the element that is needed to exchange the gas in the leaf? Stomata and gut cells. Water and mineral transport. Okay, how do they transport the water and mineral in the leaf, in from the roots to the stems and to the leaf, right? Then third drawer, you have minerals. And what are the minerals? You have these 3 minerals: nitrates, phosphate, magnesium. Then if you do not have enough mineral, what are the deficiency symptoms? Pro growth purplish and yellowing. Don't worry about what is this purplish and yellowing now. You'll know it later. As I say, we are building the knowledge step by step. Okay, just need to follow the steps, and by the step 9, like we always do, we're going to answer most of the question correct. That means that you understood the chapter quite well, right? Then you have agricultural implications. Then you have using energy, right? Using energy is about actually respiration, right? Then you have aerobic respiration, which is it needs oxygen. Then there's something related to mitochondria. Then there's something related to the glucose plus oxygen as a reactants. And the product is carbon dioxide and water. It's a bit of a swap between the product and also the reactant for photosynthesis. So photosynthesis and respiration is like it's like opposite the product and the reactants. Then also there are circulatory systems, which is related to how the glucose is being transported, and then how the oxygen is being transported, and then how the carbon dioxide is being removed from the systems in a respiration. Respiration is like breathing, okay? Okay. Then no oxygen energy. What does it mean? Okay, there is another type of respiration that doesn't need oxygen. So what is this? It is anaerobic respiration. And how does it work? It will be explained in the step 3, 4, and 5. But for now, there's something related to glucose turned into lactic acid. Then this is for animals. Anaerobic, okay, anaerobic also is in non-animal is also another form, which is fermentation. Fermentation, you know it better later, but for now it's something related to the glucose turned into ethanol plus carbon dioxide, and it's being used for bread making and wine making, right? So by now you have a little bit more idea about each drawer, I hope. And we are going to go next step. Okay, we're going to go next step. What is next step? Next step is step number 3. Step number 3. Okay, what I'll do is I'll have this step number 2 as a reference on our left, on our right, and I'll have our step number 3 on our right, on our left, sorry. So same drill. I hope you still remember. I'm sure you remember. The drill is very simple, right? You will, let me pull this over. Okay, you'll be given some time to read. Let me adjust this a bit more. To read, okay? And how do you read? You read first and ask yourself, which drawer is this? This drawer number 1. And then you read by telling yourself if there is any new information inside here that was not being written or explained over here. I'm sure there is, right? So that is how you build your knowledge more for drawer number 1. Right. Step 3 is helping you to build a little bit more for drawer number 1. And this is not drawer number 1 only. This is drawer number 1.1. You're going to have 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Right. So let's start now for 1 minute for you to read this highlighted part. Let's start now. Okay, done. So for example, this one is clearly drawer number 1. And the name of the drawer is making food. It's related to photosynthesis. Right. So what are the new information that is being written over here that is not in step number 2, keynotes? I would say maybe about algae and plants. It's not written over here. It mentioned something about producer, but it did not mention particularly or the organism, which is the plant and algae. Right. So what else is new information over here? I believe that's about it. Maybe this part is talking about the photosynthesis is a chemical reactions that converts simple inorganic materials into energy-rich organic compounds, right? But I think this is not that important because it's already explained over here what exactly it is. The more important part is this one. This is the reactants and this is the product. Okay, so you added your knowledge in this drawer a little bit more now. Not only by adding, you're also reinforcing what you understood or what you did not understand about this sentence. This explanation give you a bit more understanding now. So this is how we build. We build our knowledge. We don't build our knowledge with just one reading. We build our knowledge based on steps. So this is how brain drawer works. Steps. That's why we have step 3. Later we're going to do step 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. Okay. Number 2. Let's go to here. This is a bit small. Let me zoom in. Okay. I hope Xuan you can read this, the table. Okay. Let's do 1 minute. Start now. Okay, 1 minute up. So I'm sure you have some new information over here that is written, that is not written in your keynotes number, step number 2 in your keynotes. Keep it inside and keep it inside your brain, or keep it inside your virtual drawer, right? And if you do not understand fully right now, that is fine, right? That is fine. As long as you are able to increase a little bit of the new information or knowledge in first drawer, and also reinforcing what you understood or did not understand when you were reading this just now. And that is the purpose. And that's it. As like I said, as you go further into step 4 or 5, you're going to understand it more and more and more. Right? So let's go to, oh, finish. Now it's drawer number 2. Right? So do the same drill for this part. This is drawer number 2. Let's start now. Okay, this is drawer number 2, 2.1, structural adaptations. Structural adaptations. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 adaptations in the leaf structure that helps leaf to adapt to the environment and help leaf to work. And this is explaining a bit more detail about each of them. What does it mean by large surface area? What does it mean by thin structure? What does it mean by chlorophyll content? What does it mean by veins and waxy layer? So by reading this in that 1 minute, I am quite sure that you have already increased your knowledge and your understanding about structural adaptation now, compared to when you were like 10, 15 minutes ago, when you were reading this step number 2, right? Your understanding about this sentence is not as much as what you are right now. Okay, that means that your knowledge on this drawer number 2 increases a little bit now. And that is what we are trying to do now. That's what we're trying to achieve. Okay, now 2.2 and 2.3, same drill, 1 minute and start now. Okay, I hope this all the students here, you are following, right? This 1 minute is not too fast for you to read, and you understand what I'm trying to tell you here on the brain drawer, right? I hope it's clear. Any part that is not clear, maybe you can raise your hand. I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that means it's very clear what we are doing right now and what I'm trying to tell you related to how you are able to learn using brain drawer, right? Now let's do drawer number 3. Now we're in drawer number 3. So let's do this small one, and still I'll give you 1 minute to do it. Okay, 1 minute is up. This is very short to read. Okay, let's do 3.2 and 3.3. Also 1 minute. All right. Drawer number 3 is done. We are moving to drawer number 4. Before we move to drawer number 4, let's take 1 minute quickly to read back this part. Right. 1 minute quickly to read back this part. Let's do it now. This part. All right. So why do I ask you to read this step 2, 1 until 3? I want you to have the feeling that you are now you now understood this 1 until 3 more compared to half an hour ago when you first read this, right? Because you have already read step number 3. So with that information, with that reading, you are able to understand this more. So same goes to draw number 4 and draw number 5. And this is draw number 4. Use energy. We will start now. 1 minute. Right? This is talking about the aerobic respirations. And it's this part. Okay. And where is it? Oh, it's only 4.2 and 4.1. So let's do 4.2. And in case you did not, if you want to read again, 4.1 is here. Let's start now. Done. Last drawer. Let's continue on our last drawer. Drawer number 5. No energy. Okay, you drink the energy drink until no oxygen. No energy, sorry. No oxygen energy. Remember the story. Okay, let's start now. 1 minute. Okay, 5.2 and 5 point. Okay, let's do 5.2 until 5.4. Start now. Okay, that's it. Now we completed step 3. I want to ask some questions. Right, let's pull this out. Yep, I want to ask some questions. Now, what time did we start just now? We started at 8:47, which is about half an hour. It's about half an hour. In half an hour, I think by now you have a rough idea on a very high level what is this topic about. One of the topic in uh, year 8 biology under science subject, biology processes, and you have a very rough idea what is this about. Number one is about making food. It's about the photosynthesis. It's about chloroplast. It's about some starch tests to test the that is involving boil, ethanol, wash, and also iodine, right? Then number two is about the leaf, right? And the structure in the leaf, the gas exchange, and how the water and mineral is being transported. It's about the minerals and what are the essential minerals for the leaf, for the plants. And if not, what is the deficiency symptoms? Then number four is about respiration. It's about the energy. And it's about the circulatory systems. Number five is about anaerobic respirations and fermentation, right? So by now, I hope you have the same feeling that you, in only half an hour is not a very long time. In only half an hour, you already have a pretty much a good idea what is this chapter all about, right? Do you have the same feeling? Please don't answer because I'm asking you this question and I'm expecting a good answer. If you do not have this feeling, let me know. Then we'll try to correct some parts that maybe I miss or you miss. Jaden, I got a thumbs up from Eric. What about Jaden? Yes, I'm quite sure Xuan is also yes. Okay, I'm quite sure. Right? So yes, this is the feeling or this is the goal that we are trying to achieve. Right? In a very short time, you're able to understand, at least now on a high level, because we are still in step 3. Remember, we still have a few more steps to go. All right. So we will complete step 4. Once we completed step 4, then we'll have a break. Step 4 maybe will take another 10-15 minutes. I hope that's fine. Let's run it now. It's the same way of same drill. You read the questions. You ask yourself which drawer. You only have 5 drawers to choose from. And usually it's in sequence. Question 1 usually is drawer 1. But I still need you to intentionally ask yourself which drawer is this to reinforce your understanding or you remembering the drawers in sequence in and with their names. Okay, so let's start now. Ask the questions, which drawer, and read this and see whether there is new information or new understanding that you get from reading this part. All right, let's see. It is quite okay. We have to divide it into two parts. So let's start from here. 1 minute. Start now. Okay, I will scroll down a bit. I'll leave it until here just in case you did not finish reading. You still have 1 minute to continue. All right. So we took about 2 minutes for question number one. Let's move to question number two. Okay, question number two. Let's start now. I'll also give you 2 minutes. So don't worry about this one. Let's start from here. By the way, this is drawer number two. One more minute. Fifteen seconds. All right. Draw number two, it actually explain a bit more detail than step three. What are those structural adaptations? Okay, so I hope by now you understood this even better. Now let's go to question three. Question three. I'm going to scroll down a little bit as we go, but for now, let's focus on this part. Also, 2 minutes. How do plants breathe and drink? I think it's drawer number two still. Okay, 1 more minute. Yep. Ten more seconds. Right. So by now, you should have a deeper understanding about what is stomata, what is gut cells, and how this water is being and mineral is being transported from the roots right up to the stem and to the leaf. Okay. Now, question number four. Okay, it's a bit short, but still I'll give you 2 minutes. Start now. This is drawer number three, minerals. Twenty seconds. Ten seconds. Okay. So what are the new informations? compared to what you see over here. It's only a few lines in step 2 compared to step 4. You have nitrates, that is provide nitrogens to make amino acid. This is mainly for the growth. Then phosphate is for the root, and magnesium is to create the chlorophylls, right? Number 5, let's see how long is this. Okay, same thing. I'm going to scroll down a bit later, but I'll give you 2 minutes. Start now. This is also drawing number 3, minerals. One more minute. Twenty seconds. Okay, done. Okay, before we go to question 6, we have 3 more questions, then we are done for step number 4. Let me do a quick review. Do you realize something? That this class that you attend with me is not the same type of class that you attend in any tuition classes or the class that you attended in your school. What is the difference? The main difference here is most of the work that is being done in this class, we call it brain drawer class, is done by you. You are the one who is reading this. You are the one who is trying to form the knowledge from the readings, whether it's in step 1, step 2, step 3, or now step 4. You are the one who is doing all the work. I did not do too much of an explanation to explain to you what is photosynthesis, what is leaf structural adaptations, what is minerals, right? As compared to your normal teacher in your school, which she or he is the one who is doing all the talkings and all the work, right? But do you also realize that you learn much more and faster using brain drawer method? Why? Why? The main reason is brain drawer is designed in a way that it is having our brain to anchor on something. Anchor on something. What does it mean? Well, what are the anchoring point that we have? You remember the drawers, the 5 drawers? Those are the anchoring point. So when our brain is anchored into something, and that's the reason why I always emphasize that you have to ask yourself, which drawer is this question related to? So when you anchor that drawer, that means that is your anchoring point. And when your anchoring point is, for example, on this drawer number 3, that means you do not need to worry about drawer number 1, drawer number 2, drawer number 4, and drawer number 5. You just need to focus on this drawer number 3, on these 4 lines. And these 4 lines other answers or the information that is going to be explained in these particular questions. So when your brain is having an anchoring point, and it's easier for your brain to focus. So it's all about focus. When you're able to focus, then you'll be able to absorb much more than listening to your teacher talking for 2 hours. Because your brain most of the time are not able to focus. Your brain is flying to think about something else, which I call flying brain problem. Right. So all this that we are doing is to have your brain to focus, to have an anchoring point. Okay. I hope this is clear. Like I say, I'm not your science teacher. I'm teaching you a new learning method. Right. So I'm teaching you a new learning method. Once you understand how this new learning method and how to make full use of this new learning method, you can extend it, you can scale it up to other subjects, other chapters easily. Okay. It's not subjected to only science. It can be in history, geography, humanities, right? Maybe even maths. I try. It's okay, right? Let's forget about that because I haven't experimented yet. But let's continue on question number 6. Before that, I hope what I recap just now makes sense to you, right? If Yeah, I hope it makes sense to you. Okay, let's go to question 6. Okay, I'll do 1 minute, 2 minutes, then I'll slow down a bit later. Okay, let's start now. This is drawer number 4. So I'm anchoring your brain into drawer number 4 only. Fifteen more seconds. All right. So take note on the how the glucose is being transported, how the oxygen is being transported, and how the carbon dioxide is being removed, right? And that is, and also the reactants and product. What is reactant? Reactant is before you go through the process, and product is the output or the end result of the process. And what is the process we're talking about here? We're talking about aerobic respirations. So aerobic aspirations. It's not just respirations. It's aerobic respirations because you have another type of respiration called anaerobic. Anaerobic is the next one that you're going to learn next in drawer number 5. The difference is aerobic is using oxygen. Anaerobic is not using oxygen, but still you're able to produce energy. Next, you know in more detail what is anaerobic, right? So let's go to question number 7. Let's start now. This is drawer 5. One more minute. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. All right. Last question before we go for a 5 minutes break. Okay, yep. Let's start now. 2 minutes. And this is also draw 5 on the fermentation part, the last part. One more minute before you go for your break. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. All right. You can go for your break. 5 minutes. You can go. Start now. See you later. Okay, 10 seconds. Is everyone back? Or do you need more time? Raise your hand if you are back. Eric is back. Jaden. Xuan is back. Let's wait for Jaden. Okay, if you need more time, let me know. Okay, I'll give you 3 seconds to tell me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you don't need more time. Good. Now, okay. Yeah, let's do just want to have a feedback from your side. Just now, I was talking about the anchoring of your brain, right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Yes or no? Not so sure. Eric, yes or no? Yes. Jaden, do you understand? Just now, before the break, I talked about anchoring of your brain. Not too sure? Sure? Still thinking? Okay, right. So let's go to the next step. Guide reading. By now, you already have you already understand the chapter quite well. This part here is another boost of reading to make sure that you reinforcing what you have learned for the past 1.5 hours, or 1 hour actually, just slightly more than 1 hour. Because now it's 9:58. We started at 8:47. So it's just 1 hour and 11 minutes. So in only 1 hour and 11 minutes, I believe you feel that you understand the chapter well now, at least on a very high level. What is this chapter about? When people are talking about biological processes, you're already able to form these 5 drawers, and you're already able to have a little bit of explanation on each of the drawers. What is photosynthesis? What about the leaf? How the mineral is having an impact, and why is it important? And then the respirations, the circulatory systems, and also the anaerobic respirations for animals, and for plants is fermentations, right? Now, after the break, I'm sure you have boosted some energy. So let's start by reading again. This is going to be the last part of reading. Then it'll be easier for you, which is watching the video. Now let me see, how should I put this? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. After 1 minute, I'll scroll down to continue the second part. Let's start now. This is clearly drawer number 1, photosynthesis. Okay, I'll scroll down a bit here. Okay, I'll scroll down a bit more, a bit later. Okay, I'll scroll down a bit more here for you to read. Let's do another 1.5 minutes until the clock done. Okay, 1 more minute to go. Twenty more seconds. 10. Okay, done. This is drawer number 1. All right, so you took about 3 minutes to read the drawer number 1 for step 5. Let's see how, okay, this is, okay, let's take 2 minutes for this drawer number 2. Drawer number 2, start now. Okay, I'll scroll down a bit. Yep. One more minute. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. Done. Drawer number 2. Now move on to drawer number 3. Okay, drawer number 3. Okay, this small part here, I also give you 2 minutes. Let's start now. 1 more minute. Fifteen seconds. Okay. Drawer number 3 done. Drawer number 4. Okay, it's also 1 page here. Start now. 2 minutes. One more minute. Thirty seconds. Fifteen. Okay. Last drawer. Last drawer. Anaerobic. Okay, last drawer. Let's start now. Also 2 minutes. One more minute. Slow down a bit here. Okay. Twenty seconds. 10 seconds. Okay, done. Now we are in step 6. Right, before we go to step 6, let's do a quick recap. I'll ask the same question to Eric. What is the story? The story that help us to remember the drawer in sequence.
So it is making salad using leaves and mustard and drink energy drink until no oxygen.
Excellent. Jaden, do you still remember the sequence, the drawer name in sequence?
So, I don't remember. So drawer number 1.
Can you speak louder?
Drawer number 1
Yes.
is making food,
Okay.
and drawer number 2 is leaves.
Okay.
Drawer number 3 is mineral.
Okay.
Drawer number 4 uh, um, is it respiration? No, the last one's
Uh,
respiration.
uh, number 4 is related to respiration. You're right, but the name is not called respiration. Remember the story that Eric mentioned just now? You were making food, you using leaf and mustard, and what do you do? What do you drink? You drink energy drink. Right, you know what is energy drink, right? The one that you see with the brand Red Bull or those.
It's an anaerobic aerobic respiration.
Right, so the drawer name is called using energy.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, and then the last one is
then you
no
drink the energy
oxygen.
drink, you drink until no oxygen. So the last drawer is no oxygen energy. Okay, why as respiration is not so suitable? Because there are two types of respirations, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic is being explained in drawer 4 and anaerobic is being explained in drawer 5. So respiration is in drawer 4 and drawer 5, depending on what type of respiration you are referring. That's why I did not name the drawer as respirations. I named the drawer as using energy and no oxygen energy. Okay? So now we have a high level idea. What is the drawers about and what is this chapter about? Now, what is the step number 6 is to create story. To create story so that you are able to remember the content inside, part of the content that is inside the drawer, right? To remember it easier. So I have drawer number 1. Drawer number 1 is, okay, let's go here. I think this is better. Let's look at this step 2. Because I've already bold some important keywords over here. So the story is, imagine that in a photo, you are drinking Pepsi and blow up a bubble gum. Then you have a purple plaster on your mouth. And then there's another story. You boil Ethan and wash Ian. Right. Ethan is, I hope there's one of your friend called Ethan or someone that you know is called Ethan, so it's easier for you to remember the story. So it's like you're boiling that guy, Ethan, and then you're washing Ian. Ian is Kevin's brother, right? Then I use Ian is because iodine, right? So let's link this story to the key messages or key information inside the drawer. In the photo, you drink Pepsi, right? So photo means photosynthesis, to help you to remember there is something related to photosynthesis in drawer number 1. And you drink Pepsi. What does it mean? Pepsi is having this, is a is a drink that is having gas. And this gas is like carbon dioxide. Okay, so that is helping us to remember carbon dioxide. And then you blow up bubble gum. You know the chewing gum. You can blow it. You blow it like a balloon. That is to help you to remember oxygen, right? Because photosynthesis is taking carbon dioxide and exhaling oxygen. Then the purple plaster, purple plaster. Purple plaster is to help us to, no, it's not purple plaster. Yeah, purple plaster. Purple is to help us to, maybe I should put green plaster. Green plaster is help us to remember the chloroplast. Green is related to chlorophyll, and the plaster is related to the chloroplast. That's because the plast is there. I use plaster. And why green? Because the chlorophyll is green color. So you put a plaster on your mouth, a green plaster on your mouth. And then you boil Ethan and wash Ian. This is the starch test. How do you do starch test? The starch test is to prove that there is a starch, to prove the photosynthesis process, right? Because photosynthesis is going to have starch being produced, which is the glucose. So you boil ethanol, ethane sounds like ethane, wash iodine, right? Iodine is Ian. So that is a story. In the photo, you drink Pepsi, you blow up bubble gum, you plaster a green color plaster on your mouth, and then another story, you boil Ethan and wash Ian. Obviously, it doesn't sound logic, but that is the point. We need to have a bit more illogic story to make it a bit more emotions, because illogic usually linked with some emotions so that you will be able to remember this story easier. So this is the drawing that I draw. As you can see, I'm not a very good artist, so I have myself blowing, taking Pepsi. This is Pepsi, and then blowing up the chewing gum, and I plaster it with a green color plaster. And I'm in a photo frame. This is a picture. Then I have Ethan boiling Ethan and washing Ian. Right. Jaden and Eric and Xuan, you can also, to remember it's easier, you can also take out a paper and a pen and start to draw your own story. If you want to use my story right now, because it's easier for you to save some time, you can also draw something like this. All right. This is to help you to remember. Right. Do you need more time to get your paper and pen and draw? If not, then I'll move straight to the next drawer. I'll give you 3 seconds. Okay, you're fine. Shen, you're fine. I think you have been jotting down notes since the first minute, because I know you're jotting down notes. What about Eric and Jaden? Do you need some time to get your paper and pen, or you're fine? You're fine. Okay, Jaden, are you fine? Or you need some time? You're fine. Okay, good. My advice is, if you have pen and paper ready, you draw this out quickly. And also you have to write down the story of you are making a salad using leaf and mustard, and then then drinking energy drink, and until there's no oxygen. Right, you can write that in one line, one sentence. It's not going to take you a lot of time, maybe 10 seconds maximum. Right, because those are the anchoring point. You see, it's all about anchoring. When your brain is being anchored to something, then your brain is able to focus. When your brain is able to focus, that is the best optimum brain that will help you to learn. Okay, first of all, you need to find a way for your brain to focus, right? And this brain drawer is being done this way. Okay, so let's go to drawer 2. Drawer 2, let's see the story. Okay, I have a large and thin green leaf with blood on it and wax. Okay, and then another story. You can have your stomach on got a hole, and you drink water and it flow out. Okay, so there are 2 stories, and this is the drawing that I draw. This is the leaf, and it's with wax and blood. Of course, thin is hard for me to draw it out, but I have to remember that. Okay, and large, yeah, this is a large one. Then you have a stomach here having a hole, and you drink water and it flow out. Okay, so what does it means? It means the structural adaptation, mainly for the for this for the for the leaf structural adaptation. So you have a large thin green leaf. This explains 3 things: large surface, thin leaf, and having chlorophyll content. I'm sure by now you know why large surface is important for the leaf, and why thin leaf is important, and what is the chlorophyll content, and what is the function of chlorophyll content, right? And it's green color. By now, I think you should know that chlorophyll is green color. Then it also mentioned that it has a vein. Vein, I link it with our vein. You know, the vein that is in our body, on our hand, that you can see. And that's how I link it with blood. So vein is usually easily to be linked with blood. So leaf with blood is also something not logical. So I'm trying to create some emotions, right? Emotions, so that you can remember the story easier. So imagine that a leaf is having blood in it. So it's uh, quite easy to remember this story, right? And it's having wax, right? It's having wax. So I think you know why this waxy layer is important for leaf. Then stomach got hole, drink water and flow out. This is about the stomata. So stomach, then you can remember stomata easier. You can link it with stomata. And stomata is like a hole on the leaf. So your stomach got hole. You can bold it over here, I think. This is also a keyword. Then drink water and flow out. What does it mean? This is to explain how the water and the mineral is being transported, right? You have evaporations, you have absorptions, right? You have to flow it out. Well, either you are evaporating through the water is being evaporated through the leaf that is going out, right? And the water and the mineral is being transported, right? So that is the drink water or drink minerals and then flow out. Okay, I hope this story makes sense to you, to help you to remember the content in draw number 2, right? So this is the drawing. Draw number 3, the drawing is Nigel and Mac. Nigel, I hope your friend, one of your friends is called Nigel, so it's easier for you to put faces into Nigel. And Mac eats purple pho with yellow soup. Okay, pho is a type of Vietnamese noodle. I'm sure Xuan knows what is pho because it's quite popular in Malaysia. I'm not sure about Jaden and Eric. Do you know what is pho? Have you heard about pho? Yes. Yes. Okay. Good. So it's easy for us to remember pho because it's something that maybe you love it or you hate it or you eat it quite often in the malls. So why Nigel? Why Max? Why purple pho? Why yellow soup? I think by now you already have some idea, all right, about explaining in a more obvious way. Nigel represent nitrogen or nitrates. Mag represent, obviously, magnesium. It's purple 4, right? The noodle is in purple color. 4 represents the phosphate or phosphorus. Purple represents the deficiency of the purplish color, which is usually on the insufficiency of the or insufficiency of the 4 having this deficiency, and this deficiency is showing as a purple color on the leaf, yeah, on the plant structure. Right, then yellow soup, right? The noodle is purple, but the soup is not purple. The soup is yellow. So yellow also, you know the deficiency when it is yellow, then that means maybe it's lack of magnesium or nitrates, right? Magnesium is for the chlorophyll, nitrate is for the growth. Okay, so Nigel and Mac eats purple 4 with yellow soup here. So this is the chopstick. I did not draw the person. Megan is here or Nigel is here, it doesn't matter. Then there are 2 chopsticks. So you can imagine that they are a couple and they're eating from the same bowl. And this is a purple 4, like a noodle, and it's yellow color, the soup of the noodle, right? So draw number 4. I hope everyone is able to follow. Okay. Yep. Draw number 4 is you eat candy, do aerobic and sweat. Then you eat rice and candy, watch plasma TV in a prison cell. Alvin, the globin, breathe oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. Right. So this is the drawing. This is number 1. There are three stories over here inside this drawer. You eat candy and do aerobic. This is how I do aerobic, right? And sweat. I don't know how to draw sweat, but you can help to put it inside your drawing if you are able to do that. Then the second story is you eat rice and candy and watch TV, plasma TV, okay? And in a prison cell. You see, there's prison cell. So you are a prisoner. And then Alvin, which is a globin. I think you know what is globin. It looks a bit weird with the sharp ears. Usually it's green color. And he breathes oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide, just like a human, right? But for this case, it's Alvin the globin. His name is Alvin, but he's not human, he's globin, right? So how this story relates to the content in the 4th drawer. You eat candy. Candy is glucose, okay? Glucose is usually sweet, okay? And I use candy to represent glucose. Right, and you do aerobic and sweat because this is aerobic respiration. All right, aerobic respiration is a type of respirations, all right, that needs glucose and oxygen and then produce carbon dioxide and water. And when you do respiration, you sweat, right? And sweat is the water, right? So you see, I did not put everything inside the story, else the story will be very long and complicated. I did not mention the mitochondria. I did not mention the oxygen for this case. I did not mention the carbon dioxide. Right. If you think this story, my story doesn't represent everything and you want it to be representing everything, you can also create your own story. But for the start, you can use my story for this class. Okay. Then the second story, then the second part is you are eating rice and candy and watch plasma TV in a prison cell. This is to reflect how the glucose being transported. Glucose is also like candy, sweet, and carbohydrate Carbohydrate is usually rice is a type of carbohydrate, and Chinese always like to eat rice, so that's why I put rice and candy. And rice and candy usually doesn't go hand in hand, so this doesn't make sense. So that is also to create some emotions. And then you watch plasma TV. Plasma TV is to represent this part, right? It's absorbed into the bloodstream and it dissolves in plasma. Okay, plasma is something that is inside your blood and diffuses into cell, right? Diffuses those glucose into cell, right? So that you can do the respirations. So prison cell represent the cell. So I hope this story can give some keywords that is important for you to remember how glucose being transported. There is something related to carbohydrate, something related to glucose, something related to plasma, something related to cell. Then tell me how glucose is being transported, right? So because you have something to anchor. When you have something to anchor, then it's easy for your brain to relate, okay, how this is related to glucose transport. Now next, Alvin the globin breathe oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. CO2 is carbon dioxide. O2 is oxygen, just in case you do not know, right? This is, I think this is a basic of chemistry. If you learn this before in chemistry. Right, so globin means what? And Alvin means what? Alvin is to represent alveoli. Right, alveoli is something that is in your lung to help you to diffuse it into the blood. Right, diffuse what? Diffuse the oxygen. Right, then it binds to carbon hemoglobin. So I use globin. So globin is to help you to remember there's something related to hemoglobin. Right, and hemoglobin is inside a blood cell. And what does it do? It transport oxygen and then exhale carbon dioxide. So for carbon dioxide removal is the other way around. Right. So once the respiration is being done, where you transport the oxygen, when you transport the glucose, and then you create a waste product, which is carbon dioxide, and it's going to be diffused from the cell into blood plasma, is exactly the opposite way from where you come from, the oxygen and glucose, and now your carbon dioxide has to go at the same route, that is passing through the cell, the plasma, and transported into the lung, and then go back to alveoli, and then exhale. Okay, just the opposite direction, but it's carbon dioxide. The product is carbon dioxide. So I hope this is clear, where this carbon dioxide is going to help you to remember there's something related to how you transport carbon dioxide, right? Then oxygen. Anna does aerobic. Okay, wait, give me a second. Let me check on something. Okay, Anna does aerobic in vacuum and drink acid, right? Sounds ridiculous, right? Drink acid. And on Friday, you eat bread and drink wine. So this is a drawing, a very ugly drawing again. Okay, this person is called Anna, and she is also performing an aerobic in a vacuum. So I mentioned over here no oxygen. Okay, in a vacuum it doesn't mean only no oxygen, nothing, no oxygen, no carbon dioxide, no nitrogen, nothing, zero, no particles inside. Okay, but I put no oxygen to reflect that there's in the vacuum. Then it's drinking acid. Right? Drinking acid. Then on Friday, it eats bread and drinks wines. So how do you link it with the content inside drawer number 5? Anna does aerobic. This clearly is representing the anaerobic, right? Anaerobic respiration. In a vacuum, is to tell you that there is no oxygen because anaerobic respiration doesn't need oxygen. It's a respiration that doesn't need oxygen. And then drink acid. Why drink acid? Because the product of this anaerobic respiration is acid lactic or lactic acid. If sometimes you feel that your muscle cramp, now you know why, right? Because you have accumulated too much acid lactic in your muscle. And why did you accumulate so much acid lactic? Is because your body perform anaerobic respiration, right? Anaerobic respiration. Now, that is the first story. Second story is this bread and wine. On Friday, you eat bread and drink wine. Friday means fermentation. Bread means bread making. Drink wine means wine making. Easy, right? And this is the glucose, and then you fermentate it, and you produce ethanol and carbon dioxide. Okay, so that is creating the story, right? I'm sure you will not be able to remember all this if you do not draw it out by yourself, right? Unless you are a super genius. Unless you're a super genius, right? So that's the reason why I recommend you to bring your paper and pen and draw it, right? Imagine if you draw it 20 times, for sure you're going to remember these drawings in a very long time to come. All right. So now, with the drawing that you have drawn, I hope you have drawn something. Okay. If not, then we can put it at the side here. It's okay. I think you have. I believe that you have drawn something. You are the super genius that you can remember all this. Right now, step number 7. Let's read. Let's do this very quickly. Read the question. Ask yourself which drawer is this. Before reading this answer, form a very quick answer in your brain with some keynotes based on the drawings that you have drawn to help you to remember some of the key information that is needed inside this to answer these questions. Once you form the answer, the next step is to read this answer and then compare your answer and his answer or this answer, whether it's the same. If not, then you have new information and then you are learning new things and then you can put it inside your drawer. Okay? So I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. Okay. I think now it's 10:39. It's a bit out of time. We still haven't watched the video. Okay, let's do this quickly. I'll give you 1 minute to do that. Let's start now. Read the question. What drawer is this? Form your own answer, and then compare the answer. $20. 10 seconds. Okay, I think 1 minute is a bit too long for one question. Let's do 2 questions for 1 minute. Let's start now. Read the question. Ask yourself which drawer. Form your own question before you read form your own answer before you read the answer, and then compare your answer and the answer provided. Okay, let's do 2 questions at one time, like just now. Let's do it now, 4 and 5. Okay, 6 and 7. I hope everyone is able to follow. Six is drawer 4. 7 is also drawer 4. Okay, 8 and 9. Let's start now. 8 is drawer 5, obviously, anaerobic. 9 is also drawer 5. Oxygen depth is also about anaerobic. And more seconds. Okay, last question. Fermentation. Draw number 5. 30 seconds. Okay, done. Okay, now next one. Let's do watching a video. Where is the video? Where is my video? Aria, not this one. I think it's this one. Right. Yep. Let's see whether you can hear this guy.
Have you ever stopped to think
Do
about
you
where
hear someone is talking just now?
Yeah.
Anyone here? Someone is talking? Eric, yes. Okay, I assume yes, right? Okay, let's start now. 7 minutes. Start now.
the energy for, I don't know, your last thought came from, or the last step you took? Well, the answer starts millions of miles away with the sun. Today, we're going to trace that incredible journey of energy, how it's captured by plants and eventually becomes the fuel for life itself. Let's dive in. It's a fantastic question, right? And the answer comes down to one basic difference between us and a plant. See, plants are what scientists call producers. They literally make their own food from scratch. We, on the other hand, are consumers. We have to get our energy by eating something else. And that one little distinction, it sets up the entire flow of energy for pretty much all life on Earth. So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how plants pull off this amazing trick of capturing sunlight. Then we'll check out the perfect solar panel, the leaf, and the crucial stuff it needs from the soil. Finally, we're going to see how our own bodies unlock that stored energy, both with every breath we take and in a high-speed emergency mode. All right, let's start at the very beginning. Before any animal can
Drawer
run
one.
or any person can think, a plant has to make a meal out of just sunlight and thin air. This process, foundation for nearly every food web on the entire planet. And this amazing process is called photosynthesis. It's basically a chemical reaction where a plant takes the simplest ingredients you can imagine, sunlight, water from the ground, and carbon dioxide from the air, and turns them into glucose. That's a type of sugar that acts as its food. Oh, and the incredible waste product of this whole deal, the very oxygen we need to breathe. So where does all this magic happen? Well, if you could zoom way, way down into a plant's cells, you'd find these little green structures called chloroplasts. They're jam-packed with a pigment called chlorophyll. That's what makes plants green, and it's the molecule that actually grabs the sunlight. You can think of them as the plant's own microscopic food factories. And when you boil it all down, the recipe is beautifully simple. The plant takes in carbon dioxide and water, the sun provides the energy to kick off the reaction, and out comes glucose for food and oxygen as a little bonus for the rest of us. It's probably the most important recipe in nature. So how do we actually prove a plant has been making food? Well, plants store their extra glucose as starch, and there's a really classic experiment to find it. You'd boil a leaf to break it down, use some ethanol to get rid of the green chlorophyll that hides the result, and then add a couple drops of iodine. If there's starch in there, you get this dramatic color change from a brownish orange to a deep blue-black. It's proof that the factory has been hard at work. But you know, the chemical reaction is only half the story. The success of photosynthesis also comes down to some incredible design. A simple leaf, it's a total marvel of natural engineering, perfectly built for its job. Just think of a leaf as a perfectly designed solar panel.
Drawer two.
It's got this huge flat shape to maximize the area for catching sunlight. It's incredibly thin, which lets gases move in and out really easily. Its network of veins, that's a super sophisticated plumbing system, bringing in water and shipping out the sugar it makes. And of course, it's green, just packed with the chlorophyll it needs to soak up every last ray of light. And if we zoom in even closer, we find another brilliant little detail. The bottom of the leaf is covered in thousands of tiny pores called stomata. Think of them like microscopic mouths that the plant can open and close. They open up to breathe in the carbon dioxide it needs, and then they breathe out the leftover oxygen. It's this perfectly controlled gateway for gases. Okay, so the factory has its power source, the
Minerals.
sun,
Drawer three.
and its key ingredient from the air, carbon dioxide. But just like any factory, it also needs raw materials that it has to pull up from the ground to build and maintain everything. And these essential materials are minerals. Take nitrates, for example. Plants use them to build proteins, which are the basic building blocks for growth. If a plant can't get enough nitrates, its growth is going to be stunted, and you'll start to see its older leaves turn yellow as it struggles. Another really important one is phosphorus. This is vital for developing a strong root system. So if a plant is short on phosphorus, its roots will be weak, and you might even notice its younger leaves getting a sort of purplish color. And then there's magnesium. Now, this one is absolutely critical. Why? Because a single atom of magnesium sits right at the heart of every single chlorophyll molecule. Without it, the plant literally can't make the green stuff it needs to capture sunlight. The leaves turn yellow, and the entire food factory just grinds to a halt. So the plant has made the food and stored the
Drawer
sun's
four.
energy. The next big question is how we and other living things get that energy back out. Well, the main way requires oxygen, and it's happening inside you right now with every single breath you take. This process is called aerobic respiration, and aerobic just means with oxygen. It's the chemical reaction that unlocks the energy stored in that glucose from food, turning it into power for everything from your muscles moving to the neurons firing in your brain. This is the engine that runs most complex life on Earth. And just like photosynthesis has its own factory, the chloroplast, respiration has one too. This reaction happens inside another tiny part of our cells called the mitochondria. You've probably heard it called the powerhouse of the cell, and that's exactly what it is. This is where the energy that is powering you right now is being generated. Now, take a really close look at this equation. Does it look familiar? It totally should. It's the exact reverse of photosynthesis. We take in glucose and oxygen, and our cells release carbon dioxide, water, and most importantly, a whole lot of usable energy. It's a perfect circular partnership. But what happens
Draw a
when you need
5.
a sudden burst of power faster than your lungs can possibly supply oxygen? Well, for moments like that, your body has an emergency backup plan. Imagine you're sprinting as fast as you can. Your muscles are screaming for energy right now, but there's no way you can breathe fast enough to give them all the oxygen they need. To bridge that gap, your cells switch to a different process, anaerobic respiration, which just means respiration without oxygen. This reaction is way simpler. It's a quick and dirty solution. The body just partially breaks down glucose into something called lactic acid, and that releases a small but very immediate burst of energy. And hey, if you've ever felt that burning sensation in your muscles during a really hard workout, that's the lactic acid building up. So let's just put them side by side. Aerobic respiration needs oxygen, gives off carbon dioxide and water, and provides a massive, sustainable energy payoff. Anaerobic respiration, on the other hand, needs no oxygen, produces that pesky lactic acid, and only gives you a tiny temporary boost. It's a great short-term fix, but it's not a long-term strategy for survival. And so we end up right back where we started, looking at this perfectly balanced cycle. Plants use the carbon dioxide we breathe out and give us the oxygen we need to live. They create the energy-rich food, and we consume it, completing the loop. It's a beautiful, essential partnership that's powered life for millions of years. Which leaves us with one last really important question. What happens if we break it?
Okay, what happens if you break it? All right, now let's go to the last podcast. Let's see how many minutes, how long it takes.
Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're doing
Okay, 4 minutes. Let's start now.
a rapid fire examination of, well, the absolute engine of life on Earth.
Right.
We're talking about the fundamental biological processes that create and then use energy.
Yeah, absolutely. At its core, we're looking at the foundational energy cycle.
Mhm.
You have the producers' plants, algae making food from sunlight.
And then you have the consumers, us.
Exactly. Our entire strategy is about getting and processing that banked energy.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the story really has to begin with making food. Photosynthesis.
It's the single most critical chemical engine on the planet, really.
It is. It
Yeah.
takes these simple inputs, carbon dioxide and water, and with light energy, it makes glucose.
The plant's fuel.
Yeah.
And as a waste product, oxygen.
A glorious waste product for us, anyway.
Right. And this is all happening primarily inside the chloroplasts, powered by that green pigment, chlorophyll. The really cool part is how the plant stores it.
You can actually see the proof, can't you?
You can. A simple starch test on a leaf shows you that the plant successfully banked all that solar energy.
Okay, so to handle that kind of production, you need a specialized factory. And the leaves themselves are, well, they're the ultimate solar panels.
They're just incredible pieces of evolutionary engineering.
So efficient, they're thin, which helps with gas diffusion
And they have a huge surface area.
for maximum light.
But that creates a problem, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All that surface area risks water loss.
So it needs control.
Exactly. They have a waxy layer to stop evaporation, but the real control comes from the stomata.
These tiny pores on the underside of the leaf.
They're the ventilation system. CO2 in, O2 out. And the guard cells around them, they open and close the gates, usually shutting down at night when there's no light.
But that whole system needs constant maintenance, and
Yeah.
it's not just about sun and water. Plants need minerals from the soil.
That's a point people often forget. If that supply chain breaks down, you see critical failures.
Like what?
Well, nitrates are essential for healthy growth, for making proteins.
Okay.
Phosphates are key for building strong roots. But the one with the clearest visual sign is magnesium,
Why magnesium?
because it's a core component of chlorophyll itself.
So no magnesium, no chlorophyll. The plant can't capture light.
And you see it right away. Severe yellowing of the leaves.
Farmers are essentially mineral maintenance crews then, aren't they? Using fertilizers to put back what the harvest takes out.
That's a great way to put it. That's exactly what they're doing.
Okay, so we've made the glucose, we've stored it. Now, how do we get to the core of consumption? Using oxygen.
Aerobic respiration. It's the process that's constantly powering everything in your body. Movement, growth, even just staying warm.
It basically flips the photosynthesis equation. Glucose plus oxygen gives you.
Carbon dioxide, water, and crucially, that transfer of energy.
And this all happens in the mitochondria, the cell's power plants.
Right, and the fuel has to get there.
Yeah.
Glucose travels in the blood plasma, but oxygen needs a special taxi.
Hemoglobin in the red blood cells.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why cells with high energy demands, like your muscle cells, are just packed with mitochondria. It all makes sense.
But sometimes, say, during a span can just outstrip the oxygen supply.
And the body has a backup plan for that. Anaerobic respiration. No oxygen energy.
This is the big compromise, isn't it?
It is a major trade-off. In animals, glucose gets converted to lactic acid.
Which is that burn you feel, the cramps.
And critically, it transfers far less energy. The price you pay for that quick burst is the oxygen debt.
The cleanup job, all the extra oxygen you're panting for afterwards just to break down that lactic acid.
Precisely. And in things like yeast or waterlogged plant roots, you get a different version. Fermentation.
Where the byproducts are ethanol and carbon dioxide.
Which is, incredibly useful for us. The CO2 makes bread rise, and the ethanol gives us beer and wine.
So what does this all mean? We've traced this incredible path of energy from a plant capturing sunlight all the way to our cells demanding fuel.
It's a closed-loop system.
Defined by these super specialized factories and transport systems.
And I think the final takeaway is really about that trade-off. Anaerobic respiration is fast, it gives you that immediate power, but aerobic is always the preferred route.
Why?
It just transfers vastly more energy per molecule of glucose. It's all about efficiency. The body will always choose the most efficient path if it can.
So think about that massive cycle of production and consumption the next time you breathe. You are living right inside this continuous energy highway.
All right. I hope this solidify your understanding, the video and also the podcast. Let's do the last part, which is to test our understanding very quickly. Oh, where is it? ChatGPT. Okay, let's upload the video and the books. Biological process. Ask me 10 MCQ to test my knowledge in this chapter one by one. All right. So Eric, which drawer, which answer?
Okay, so for this one, this is the first drawer,
Excellent.
and B, and it's B.
B. Any objection? Okay, I'll bring the picture, assuming that you also have the similar picture, and assuming that now you're in the exam hall. What you have done is you draw the picture, and you're answering the question, having the picture as your reference. Right? Any objection? No objection. So then we'll go to the next one. Okay, Jaden, question number 2. Which drawer, which answer?
So this is drawer number 2 and photosynthesis.
No, question number 2. Drawer number what?
Yeah, drawer number 2.
Okay, it could be.
Drawer number 2. I think it's A.
Huh?
A.
A. Anyone object? Eric, you wanted to say something?
A C. C.
C. Xuan, also C. Jaden,
yes.
do you think it's A or C?
C.
You think it's C?
C.
Mitochondria is for respiration, okay? Okay, Xuan, question number 3. Drawer, answer.
Drawer number 1.
Your mic is working now.
And
Good.
I'm using the phone.
Okay. Drawer number 1.
Drawer number 1, answer B.
B. Anyone object? 1, 2.
Eh? Yeah.
Okay, B. Correct. Okay, come back to Eric. Which drawer, which answer? Question 4.
So this is drawer 2,
Good.
and is C.
C. Anyone object? 1, 2, 3. Next. Jaden.
This is drawer.
Louder, please.
Drawer number 2.
Drawer 2. Yes, you're right. Answer?
Tomato.
Stomata, B. Anyone reject? 1, 2, 3. Trend. Next. Xuan.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear now.
Drawer is 2S.
Drawer 2.
And then C.
Okay, it's drawer 3. Mineral. Anyone object
C.
the answer? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay, Eric, next.
Okay, so this is number 4,
Okay.
drawer 4, and
Hmm.
uh, mitochondria. D.
Yes, mitochondria. Okay. Jaden, remember mitochondria is for respiration. Coral plus is for photosynthesis. Okay, Jaden, your turn.
So this is drawer number 5. No, it's drawer number 4.
Row number 4. Okay, you're right. Answer.
Glu
Hmm?
Glucose and oxygen.
Glucose and oxygen. Anyone reject? What is the product? Product is carbon dioxide and water. Okay. The answer now is C. Reactant and product. Okay, reactant and product. Reactant first, then product. Okay, next, Xuan.
Main ways would be this is drawer 4.
Yes, drawer 4, you're right. No, this is not drawer 4.
Drawer 5.
Yes, drawer 5, you're right. Okay,
The answer is C.
lactic acid. Anyone reject? Okay. Okay, final one for Eric.
Okay, so um, this is drawer 5,
Okay, drawer 5.
and ethanol. Fermentation and
Fermentation,
yeast.
are you sure?
D.
Anyone reject? Okay, yes. See? In how, okay, what's the time now? 11:06. What time did we start just now? 8. So 11:06. So it's about slightly more than 2 hours. All right, slightly more than 2 hours. Slightly more than 2 hours, you are all able to understand the topic well. I will not say to the level that you are able to get A in exam, but you are able to understand what is inside the chapter. Do you have the same feeling? Tell me based on your heart, not based on what I want to hear. Do you feel that these 2 hours is worth your time to spend on and understand this chapter? Yes, you think so? Yes, Eric? I hope this is really from your heart, not just because you think that I want to hear the answer. Jaden?
Yes.
Also? Okay, now, why do I want to ask this question? It's not for me to feel good. It's to let you also to understand that if you have this note, which I have, I'm surprised that no one asked me the notes before, right? No one asked me for the notes before. If you have this note in front of you, and imagine you've forgotten everything, which you're never going to forget, by the way. If imagine you've forgotten everything, you just need to take another 2 hours to remember everything that you remember right now. As long as you have the notes and you follow the steps. 2 hours. 2 hours is what it takes for you to understand at the level that you understood now. If you do it one more time, I'm sure your understanding will be even better than what you have now, right? Because you have already run through this the second time, the third time, right? Third time is good, already good enough, right? Now, last point, I'm going to take another 5 minutes, right? Last point, then I'll release the class. You remember last week we learned the steps of revision. And at the start of the class, I did a test with Jaden and also Eric for the electricity and electromagnetism. How do you revise? How do you do revision? Number one, ask yourself the story that helped you to remember the 5 drawers. Once you are able to remember this story, that will help you to remember the 5 drawers name in sequence, right? So first step, story. Second step, drawers name in sequence. That will only take you less than 10 seconds. Third step, the drawing or the story inside each drawer. How many drawers you have? 5. And explaining those stories, remembering it, of course you have to remember it. So you have to draw this like 5 times, 10 times. You remember this story. Then that is step number 3. And it will only take you maybe another 1-2 minutes if you do it enough time to remember this. Maximum 1 to 2 minutes, right? The fourth step is use this drawing, explain it to someone that never attended this class before. Eric, for your case, explain it to Brian. What is photosynthesis? Explain it to Brian. What is leaf? Explain it to Brian. What is minerals? Explain it to Brian. What is respiration, aerobic respirations, and also the glucose transfer, and also transportations, and also the oxygen, and also the carbon dioxide. Explain it to Brian. What is anaerobic aspiration and what is fermentations? Right? If you are able to do that and Brian understood you, that 4 step is already completed. And that will only take you maybe maximum 10 minutes. And that's it. And then you are already at the level that you understood the chapter. And not only that, you're able to explain it well on that content of that particular chapter, which is, for this case, is biological processes. For last week, it was electricity and electromagnetism, right? Jaden and Eric, remember I asked your mommy and also your papa to test you twice. And if you can do this test by yourself without having someone to remind you and or test you, and that will only take you 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. And then you remember this chapter by heart. All right? And that's it. Thank you very much for today's class. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye. Any questions? No? Then we'll drop the class.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.